Today marks 1732nd day of daily lessons, daily reflections. And today is a very unique day. I will speak about a topic I have never talked about. And this year where I really think about rebuilding my life and this is a thing that's resonates with me a lot. And I think that in the future I didn't understood what it means. And today we'll share such an important topic. And what the topic is about optimization and transformation. Now, I always used to believe that when you improve yourself every single day, 1%, you will become successful. And I realized even though optimization is such a powerful tool, we need to realize that optimization alone will not get where we want to go, will not allow us to get where we need to go. Because sometimes we will be required not just optimize things in life, but really transform ourselves into the person that we never been before. Because we look into all the things that we used to do, all the things that we were, and that version of you was not serving you. And at that moment, optimizing that life that is not working sometimes is just a waste of time. So that means what do we need to do at that moment? Sometimes we say that I demolish everything was there and transform myself in a totally new human being. And at that moment, when I transform and I start to see the things that is actually working, now we optimize what's working and really get to where we need to go. Because if we optimize the things that doesn't work, doesn't lead anywhere. I know exactly what it means. I was improving, I was optimizing things, but if you optimize the wrong thing, it will not become a good thing or a right thing. So today I'll share seven truths that I think that be able to reflect on this topic because I truly believe this is one of the of probably my best ideas that I really spoke about in the last period of time. And I think about the importance on life. And I figured and reflected on that only today, so I still have probably a lot of reflection to do to maximize this topic and use it in the best possibility for myself. But this is a great start, and they will share seven things that I think is extremely important to reflect about optimization and transformation and the differences between them. So let's get started. So number one is optimization asks, how can I perform better? While transformation asks, who do I need to become? And this is a very interesting because how you can perform better. So that means that when even you ask a question, who you want to become in the future. And I know that people have a tendency to say what they want to do in a way of saying what they want to become. For example, I want to be a singer. Singer is not who you become. Singer is what you do. You sing. But what who you are while you are a singer, when you do singing, because singer is doing, so that means that this is not who you are. And being able to understand, okay, who I want to become, what kind of singer will be able to be generous or be kind. I will be courageous. I will be a server of other people. I will be person who's leader and add value, who lead by example. That means that you are able to really define who you are, and that's the all the other things. That architect is not who you become, this is what you do. The firefighters, like all the careers are, this is what you do, not who you are. And it's extremely important. And then that a lot of times we're thinking about optimization our career, but forget that we need to really think about transformation, who we become, even in the same career, because that's just what we do. Number two, optimization tries to remove discomfort. Transformation uses discomfort as a teacher. And it's a massive shift. Because I know that optimization is all about removing all the roadblocks. And discomfort is a roadblock. And a lot of times it's extremely helpful to remove all the roadblocks. And some places just become so comfortable and smooth, but it doesn't allow us to develop the things that we need to develop. Because if you actually go through sometimes the pain, some kind of discomfort, some kind of uncertainty, no control, failures, try new things, expose new things, that is potentially creates more discomfort, but it teaches us. That teaches us because to transform. But if we remove all the failures, remove all the exposure, and just do all the things that we already know that we have optimized, even though that we will be extremely efficient in something, but will not allow to really to cover up the the parts of us that we do not know, because if we really want to know ourselves, we need to really explore from different angles and see how we act in different situations. And this is again where the failures, discomforts really help. Number three, optimization is about efficiency. Transformation is about surrender. So optimization is about efficiency. Transformation is about surrender. And this is a beautiful thought because when you really look to become as effective as you could be, that's a great thing. But even when you think about the most important things in life, relationships, love, health, some kind of pursuit of some goal, meaningful goal, um, and we can really look into that. We do not have full control of that, and being able to really surrender to reality that you do not have 100% control is such a beautiful thing because you're able to really do whatever you can do at the moment you're working on something, and not get stuck in inefficiency, saying that okay, I really become much more effective and I will work if something is missing there. And sometimes you're not able to really fix everything with efficiency. Becoming 100% at something will not allow to really, for example, relationships is not 100% you as the other person there. When you think about business as well, even though that you can do all everything right, like there is so many things that is moving and pushing around that really doesn't make you 100% responsible for things. You are responsible for your inner world, what's happening in you while you're dealing with reality of uncertainties. But again, that's part of really transformation where you surrender for all the effectiveness and all efficiencies that you have built, even though that those sometimes will not work. And that moment we really actually need to surrender. And that surrender gives us peace, and that peace allows become more resourceful and really do the right thing. Number four, optimization adds, transformation removes. And this is again beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thought. Because when you think about real optimization, sometimes you say, I need just one more book, one more habit, one more supplement, one another system. There's something to really to add in when you will know exactly when you have extra knowledge, when you have extra wisdom, then you will be able to successful. But I learned that in life, when you really truly want to achieve success, and even like there's so many examples of Steve Jobs, like he removed so many products in the line to really to make Apple one of the most successful companies in the world, because he knew how important it is to subtract things. And that means that but today I speak not about just external things that subtract all the products, but I'm seeing that a lot of times we need to subtract the internal things. That means that ego, false identities, to strip away, to remove them, and being able to really look into unhealthy relationships, pride, and say like, what do I need to strip away from my life that is really holding me back? So rather than looking into okay, what kind of things should I add to optimize? Yes, what kind of things could I remove so I can make sure that I'm able to transform? Because sometimes removing wrong relationships from your life is one of the biggest transformations in your life, because a greater environment allows to nourish your soul, your spirit in a much better way. Almost it's like being in a dark room and planting a seed in a dark room, and that seed, that flower will not grow. It needs sun, it needs water, it needs to better. So that means removing yourself out of bad relations is like putting yourself back into the environment where you get sun, where you get water, you get nourishment, you get encouragement, get support, and that of course is allows to grow much faster. Number seven, optimization focuses on outcomes. Transformation changes your relationship with outcomes. And this is a beautiful thing that because I'm I'm at fault with that as well. 100%. I was so addicted to results, so addicted to outcomes. And if I'm getting outcomes, I feel worthy. I was addicted to really hustle, grind, and that's where I felt complete. But feeling complete when you perform is not the right way to live. I think that when you really start to live in a way, when you really start to feel complete before you take action, the action that you take will be more complete. Because when you take actions to really complete yourself, it's coming from lack. But when you are complete, when you take actions, you're coming from abundance, your resourcefulness, your ability to have a better attitude is so much better. And because of that, it's so much easier to really achieve the outcomes that you actually wanted in the first place. So have a relationship that I pursue excellence with all my heart, but I don't need that those results right away. I'm willing to really work until I will get those results, and I will my effort is more enough to feel complete. And if I don't have effort, if I do not feel like working today, and I need recharge and rest, and that's exactly what I need, I will do it, and I will feel most complete when I'm recharging. Number six, optimization builds competence. Transformation builds character. And it's again one of the beautiful thoughts about it. That optimization develops your skill sets. You optimize to develop something and you are extremely competent at that one skill, at that one aspect that you're really working persistently on. But when we really look into transformation, we really look into really how really I will act with that skill set, who I will be with that skill set. Because I think that we need to really understand that character will determine what do you do with the skill. And I think that that's sometimes when you look into there's two identical people in a lot of sense, because there's no identical, but like very similar people with the skill set, specifically on selective skill sets. They are very similar in a skill set wise. But who will win in a long run? A person who has a better character. So that means that we always need to ask, okay, how I could really develop my character, and we always ask, could I transform myself to really develop that character, that mental strength, that spiritual strength, that emotional strength. And I think that when we have that character developed, it's so much easier again to achieve success because we can optimize all day long. We have competence above and beyond. But if our character is weak, that competence will not compensate for lack of character. And last one, number seven, is the life you keep trying to perfect may not be the life you are meant to live. And this is probably the hardest truth that me myself, I learned this year that I was trying to perfect the life that is wrong for me. And that is a scary place to be in, realizing that you worked for 5 years, 10 years on a life that is not for you. And I think that there's people who spend even 16 years, 20 years, even maybe even more, realizing that they were climbing the wrong ladder. And the wrong ladder could be in everything. In spirituality, you can go a wrong direction. In health, you can do wrong things that you didn't knew that is wrong for you. You could have wrong relationships and really try to develop strong relations and invest so much in other person in a business and intimate relations. You can invest so much and you realize it's not. You can invest in yourself in certain skill sets. And you realize those skill sets is not for you in general. There's other things that you're supposed to pursue. So there's so many things that sometimes we want to perfect, and it's realizing that it's not fast. Now, it's better to really pursue and perfect something than nothing because you develop the skill set of consistency and persistency. So if you have no idea what you're supposed to do, of course, better to do something that you anything is will be better than nothing. But in general, I think that we constantly need to reflect. I'm climbing in the right ladder in everything. Spirituality, as I said, relationships, business, career. And when you really reflect on that, now we're able to really not just sometimes optimize, but sometimes maybe we need to transform some part of our life. Because sometimes we just need a whole life demolition, because that's what I need to do, whole life demolition. Or sometimes you just need to say one part of my life needs to be demolished and needs to be transformed in something new. And that's a beautiful topic. And again, this is the first time that I'm speaking about this topic because I went through by myself, and I think that it's much easier now to speak about it. That optimization is not enough because that's who I was. I was obsessed about the optimization. I was tracking every 15 minutes for months to really understand where my time goes. But I realize now that sometimes the life that I was building and optimizing was not for me. And it's beautiful because now I'm able to transform myself into a new person who actually understands that sometimes we really need to reflect, are we climbing the right ladder? So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.